Just a few weeks away from the caucuses, these Iowa moms are exactly the kinds of voters Republican presidential candidates want to attract. Tonight, though, their focus is on the Des Moines Community Playhouse's production of Junie B. Jones.
From Junie B., first grader.
If you have kids in Des Moines, this is the place to be on a Friday night. So we thought we'd come here and find out what real moms think it's like to live in the center of the political universe.
Nicole Quaid says, Republican or Democrat, if you live in Iowa right now, it's all about the election.
Definitely, it's a topic that people talk about a lot, and I think it's on everyone's minds.
It's hard not to talk about the candidates. Meg Nugent says for the last 6 months, they've been turning up everywhere.
I've seen them just at various places, bookstores, the state fair, around town. They're pretty much anywhere you're at, they're there as well.
But you might be wondering, why does Iowa, a state of only 3 million people, matter so much?
Iowa is not first because it's important. Iowa's important because it's first.
Drake University professor Dennis Goldford says candidates' fixation on Iowa started back in the 70s, when a little-known governor named Jimmy Carter campaigned here for more than a year and ended up with the most caucus votes.
The point was he went on to win the presidency, and that made people think, oh, the Iowa caucus is maybe a way to get some message out, get my name out, get who I am out, my views out, in a relatively inexpensive state. It's important for people who aren't well-funded and maybe aren't well-known.
That's why you'll see candidates like Ron Paul spending the bulk of their early campaign time here, turning out at coffee shops and breakfast fundraisers, preaching their platforms to anyone who's willing to listen.
As I recall, there was a little bill we worked on a couple years ago, and it was called Audit the Fed. Does anybody remember that?
It's a lot of work, especially since, unlike a primary, a caucus is nothing more than a statewide poll.
People there will be asked to write down the name of the candidate they prefer, and they'll toss them in a box or toss them in a hat and collect them. And then officials there at each precinct will add these up, phone them into the state party headquarters in Des Moines. So all these numbers will be is simply a straw poll. They're not electing delegates to the national presidential convention of each party. They do none of that.
For moms like Meg, the benefit of Iowa's first-in-the-nation status is that she really gets to know the candidates, up close and personal.
I think that's important right now to have a clear message from each one so we can make our decision.
Even for those of us who don't live in Iowa, the candidates' time there is worth watching. It's our chance to see how a potential president interacts with real people. For Cafe Mom, I'm Lindsay Ferrier.